Welcome back to Your Secret Safe with A, episode 3, take 2. Sorry for being a drunkard yesterday. I just had a sad day. I felt like I needed a good cry, and I thought the wine would get me there. It just ended with me and Zeus eating ice cream together on the floor.
I wanted to fucking murder you because I could just hear you slurping on your ice cream, and then I was just listening to Zeus slurping
Go.
on his napkins or whatever that was near him, and I'm just like, both of you need to stop before my misophonia makes me go homicidal.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yesterday was my bad. We're going to do better today. Today is a new day, as long as you own your mistakes, which I do.
Yes.
So sorry. Apologies to Grace for being drunk. I think Spreadsheet Man was a fan, though, because we had a little bit of sexy time over FaceTime last night. Well, WhatsApp, because he has a green phone, if you know what I mean.
Literally the entire thing yesterday was just us singing so poorly out of tune, which we're definitely going to add some of that to the blooper reel for episode 3. Horrendous.
Yeah, singing is not my calling. I can dance, kind of, but I'm tone deaf as fuck.
Oh, girl, me too. Welcome back to Your Secret Safe with A. Today's episode might be a heavy one, but don't worry. We're going to find a way to make you laugh through those tears. Maybe we'll see Vikki shed a tear or two. We're going to dive into grief, friendship, and the absolute kookiness of losing someone you love.
Yep, and of course we have some ridiculous stories to lighten the mood. Today we're talking about Adrian, the one who, we dedicate this podcast to, Your Secret Safe with A, and she's taught us that life's too short to take anything for granted. So now we're going to share those funny stories that basically, shaped our childhood.
And basically how the loss of Adrian kind of shaped both of us and our friendship and the past 5 years of our lives. And I think it kind of goes into, her loss kind of goes into almost probably every single choice we've made in the past 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was a good choice or a bad choice, always in the back of our mind. Would Adrian do this? Yeah, she would.
Yes. Always in spirit. It's like, if Adrian would support this, should I do it? The answer is always yes. Yes, you should. She was one of a kind. It's hard to put into words, but she definitely made us stronger as friends. There's definitely some stories we can share, funny ones, emotional ones. We talk about Vag and our tattoo, our 3 dots we have going on over here. But I believe there's a reason she was the A and she was in the middle of us, because she truly did hold us together. There were definitely times in our trio where we were fighting for whatever the reason may be. Someone's mad at someone. It's usually everyone's mad at me because I was being a slut. Different reasons like that. But whenever we would get upset with each other, we would always mark out the dot of the person that we were exiling. It always had to be 2 versus 1, right?
My favorite is when we would be out at a party and one of us would say something like a mean joke to another one, and we would like hold up our wrist and just be like, and cross out that dot that you were, whichever dot you were, which I mean, it goes to show exactly how our friendship is.
Yeah, I'm like, we got these tattoos at Beach Week, Myrtle Beach, when we were 18 years old. And before we got these tattoos, we actually used to draw them onto our wrists daily with a Sharpie. You remember that?
Yes. We probably have some type of chemical disease or whatever, or cancer from having permanent Sharpie on our wrist every single day for an entire year straight before we finally got it tattooed.
Yeah, and when we finally did, Adrian almost pussed out. You went first.
Yeah, I went first, and then you went next, and then Adrian was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this."
We were like, bitch,
you better sit down in that godforsaken chair because I just permanently inked myself for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I think it was like $60 a tattoo, and I remember like, as it was happening, thinking to myself, like, this man is literally just eyeballing circle dots onto our wrist. Like, there was no stencil, there was no measuring, there was no like, let me map this out first. He's just like, give me your wrist, and starts like circling.
All of our dots were all different sizes. I ended up getting mine like redone like a little bit to
Yeah,
help.
yours are like big now. Mine are just like super faded.
Yeah, to help even out the dots. Like my first dot is huge because the dude just was free balling circles, no stencil. And I mean, we went to some shitty shop in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So you get what you pay for, I guess.
Yep, yep. We're both so tired. Yesterday was like cracked out, cashed out, and today we're just like, meh.
I have a cup of coffee. Well, it's half calf because I have to go to sleep. But I have a cup of coffee because I was like, I need to get some fucking energy in me. When I was driving to go get my sad girl meds, I was like blasting EDM because I was like, come on, Grace, like we gotta go, like we gotta get this energy pumped.
I'm just like waiting for my period to start. Today I have a little bit of anxiety of yesterday's results. A little bit of anxiety after my conversation with Spreadsheet Man. He seems to be acting normal, but I'm just like, I'm embarrassed.
What did he say about it today?
What do you mean? We're not going to address it. We're just going to move on.
It never happened. If I don't remember,
it never happened. Yeah, I don't know. Things seem positive. No, but Adrian was the life of the party. The reason that we're refilming is because yesterday I was mimicking her how she takes shots. So this episode is going to be about wardrobe changes and how Adrian would change outfits 20 times. And then, that scene from The Grinch where he's like, ooh, ah, and he like thinks he looks so good. He's like, that's it. I'm not going. That's Adrian. And that was me yesterday. I was like, I look ugly. I don't want to record. Well, yesterday I was George Washington. Today I'm bald.
With no tequila shots.
The silence is loud.
The silence is deafening. But speaking of tequila shots, the one thing we could always count on Adrian for was being the life of the party. Even though the bitch could not handle a fucking shot to save her goddamn life.
She would like take a mini sip and like almost immediately puke, like run to the bathroom. And I don't know what she was thinking every single time, maybe nothing, but she would always choose to throw up in the sink instead of, the trash can or the toilet. And we lived in an apartment together. And I remember one time having to plunge the sink because of how much vomit was in it. And I was like, this is like a new level of repulsive.
I was going to say, it was usually her idea to take the shots too. She'd be like,
right.
Oh my God, like, should we order shots? And me and Vikki are very big shot people. So we're like, hell yeah, let's get shots. We would take ours, and she's like trying to run away or back away from getting out of taking the shot. And I'm just like, bitch, get the fuck back over here.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why she tortured herself like that, because she was so bad at it. And like, I don't know.
She could not handle it to save her life. We should have started giving her like juice
water shots or something. Yeah. Well, I mean, we were also ripping like straight tequila. I'm like, maybe like the girlies, we could have gotten a shooter. Maybe I should have gotten a lemon drop, or like our friend Illy. I want a kamikaze.
Do you remember that one time, speaking of kamikazes, we were at a bar in Richmond and she knew we were there and she called the bartender and told him to make us kamikaze shots. I was like, you fucking dumb bitch.
They just showed up at our table and he's like, she wouldn't come out with us because she's one of those people that like once she's in bed or in a bathtub, like there's no shot you get her to leave her house. Like not at all. I mean, the first time that you and I like looked at our vaginas up close was I think in Charleston or something.
Why don't I remember this?
I remember this because you asked me, we were talking about vaginas or something, and I was like, I've never really seen yours. And you were like, I've never really seen yours. So we were like, let's just show each other our vaginas. Like, you were like, that's nice. I was like, yours too. I was like, great.
Were we sober?
I think so.
That makes it worse.
Like, we've definitely been in some compromising situations, but I mean, even like the beach week orgy and
I was about to say that. I was about to be like, even
while we were getting fucked next to each other in the tub at beach week, I did not see your vagina the way I saw your vagina that way. I met Priscilla for the first time.
Did she purr back?
I didn't touch it. You and I could never have a threesome together. Never. Never.
But it's funny because every time we get drunk, we're like, oh, maybe one day we'll have a threesome together. And then we're sober and we're like, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, no. I've had plenty of threesomes, but I don't know. Can't do it with you, Grace. Sorry.
That is fine. That's a best friend line that we do not need to cross.
Yeah, like, are we gonna make out all night?
Yes.
Yes, 1,000%. But that's about it. No, I'm like our shower orgy. It was me, Grace, and Adrian, of course, and 3 guys from our high school, all just like in a bathtub, making out, naked, fucking, doing whatever. And then shortly after, we all went like streaking on the beach, and us wise girls, us wise women were like, we should stop doing this. Mm-hmm. And our guy friends kept going. We were, day drinking. So we're out on the beach naked at like 7 p.m. in Myrtle Beach, like
hammered, so fucked up.
It's summertime. And our guy friends got arrested for public nudity. And there's a news article to this day. If you Google their names, you see all of their mugshots. And the funniest part about that article is when the police came up on them, they ran into the ocean, and everyone put their swim trunks on except for one of our friends who did not have his. So he had to come back out of the water naked, and they made him wear a trash bag.
And the best part is when they finally got released from jail the next day or got bailed out, he came back and was like, yeah, I was in the back seat with my trash bag on and I'm soaking wet from the ocean. So he's like, I'm just sliding back and forth because there's no seatbelts in the back of the cop car. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, what a monumental moment. I'm like, thank God we left when we did. We would have been on that too.
Absolutely. But I also remember when everyone was streaking or when everyone was taking their clothes off and the boys ran away, I remember looking up and looking at them and being like, that's way too much effort. I'm not sprinting in the sand like that, and stayed with you guys. So my laziness saved me.
Yeah, I'm not going to run. So I'm going to just sit here naked.
Yeah, literally. I'll be here when you get back.
Yeah, have fun. Oh.
We had 0 inhibitions that week. Release your inhibitions, like Natasha Benning.
Release your inhibitions. Yes, yeah. On that time, we all took a trip to Wilmington.
Oh my God, yes.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, so let's talk about, it was our senior year of high school, and we had 2 girls that were close to us senior year, but then we ended up not being friends with them anymore.
Yeah. It was a Vag C for a little bit.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. Vag C.
No. We should have known when the acronym didn't work. But so
exactly.
We all went to Wilmington, North Carolina together for senior year spring break. And
yep. She was a huge One Tree Hill fan. So the purpose of this trip was to go around to all the One Tree Hill filming locations.
And it made me laugh because a bunch of our guy friends were also there that week.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seniors in high school. The 3 of us were fucking degenerates.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, me having older siblings, they allegedly bought me alcohol. And so I brought it with us and I stuffed it in my giant suitcase. And so the girl we went with, her mom would always try to act like she was super cool and fun and didn't care if we drank and all of this stuff. Nah, she was a controlling psychopath. And one night she was like, oh, well, let me make you margaritas or daiquiris while you girls get ready and stuff. We're like, oh my God, hell yeah, let's do it. She put half a shot in each drink.
Oh God, I was so drunk off that half a shot. It's like I'd never had liquor before.
And I remember we all took a sip of it and we're sitting in the living room area of the hotel room and we all looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck is this?
I'm like, didn't we go into our bags and pour some extra on top?
Or we were
trying to do Elrod style.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Elrod's, the margaritas have a layer of tequila on the top.
Uh-huh. I think we tried to get some more alcohol, but the girl's mom and sister kept watching us and we couldn't get away with it.
Some of these photos are crazy. I've definitely untagged myself from some of these because I'm just like,
Oh,
what even
same.
are these?
Oh my gosh, here we go.
So yeah, that was the weekend. We're going to, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna black out faces. Also, do you see that comment that says vag? It's like people knew.
Oh yeah. Everyone called us vag.
Uh,
For those of you, I mean, this will not be going up, but we're swiping through old Facebook photos and a picture of me with my high school ex-boyfriend just popped up.
ugh.
There was one night we went to go hang out with the boys, and they were, I think, like 20 minutes from our hotel, and we met them downtown. And then the girl's mom was like, well, I'm gonna go back to the hotel, you guys can stay downtown, whatever. And then boys were like, well, we don't want to stay, like, let's go back to our house and drink. And we're like, okay, yeah. So we stuffed 7 people in a 5-person tiny little car, and we ended up, or no, Adrian and Vikki ended up going into the ocean later that night. And I was like, I don't want to get wet, we don't have any extra clothes. And it was March, it's still freezing in Wilmington, and the water was freezing.
Yeah, we went swimming.
I put my toes in and I was like, I'm not doing that. But the girl's mom came to pick us up, and me, Adrian, and Vikki, we basically decided the 3 of us are not being separated for the rest of this trip. Like, wherever we go, we are sitting 1, 2, 3, laying 1, 2, 3. So the 3 of us crowded into like the very back 3rd row, and the mom is in the front of the car screaming at us. She's like, how many people fit in a 5-person car?
We're going back to Earl and the seatbelts. Here we go. Earl, do not listen.
The 3 of us were dead silent. Like, we were
Wait, you need to go to the picture. There's a picture where like we're all sitting on the porch at the boys' house and we do not look well. It's not that one. Oh, but that was the trip.
But we
Did you see her?
Part of the trip we didn't have enough towels, so Adrian used a giant red fitted sheet as her towel.
So that's Adrian. Keep going.
So the 3 of us are like dying in the back seat, and we're not saying anything. And at one point the girl goes, my mom asked you a question. And it's like we're doing the thing where you're trying not to laugh, so you're holding your face. And I can't remember if it was Vikki or Adrian, one of you finally go, 5, like you're trying not to laugh. And the mom goes, and how many did you have in the car? And I almost lost it at that. And I think Vikki,
I think it was me. I was the one who answered because I crack under the pressure. I'm like 5.
You were like 7.
I couldn't do it.
And we made because Adrian and I didn't want to sleep with the girl, so we made Vikki sleep with her on the pull-out couch.
Cruel and unusual punishment yet again.
Sorry. And then later that night, the 3 of us, it wasn't even like a queen bed, it was a full bed, and the 3 of us smushed together, and we made Adrian be the middle.
Because she's the A. Every time we all slept together, she was just like, I hate being in the middle. And we're like, I snore, I kick, I'm like the worst person you could ever possibly sleep with.
And I was such a light sleeper, and Adrian would she'd cuddle up next to you, but I remember her feet were freezing from the water, and she kept touching my legs with her toes, and I was like, stop doing that! God.
And find a man who lets you put your cold toes on him.
My favorite part about this is that I was kind of dating that guy, but then I'm wearing a different guy's sweatshirt the entire week.
I mean, true. Oop. We're about to be dead on the porch. Stay tuned. Yep, that's what. I'm trying to text. I'm like, I'm in trouble. You're just cold. Adrian's like, what the fuck? I have red face from drinking alcohol. All the brunettes.
My face here being like, are you effing kidding me right now? I think, was this the night that we got in trouble, or was it the previous night?
No, it was this night.
That was just always our life. we'd always bring a fourth person in or something. We'd always hang out with other people. And then usually very quickly in, we'd be like, we don't fucking like this. And we would ditch whoever we were with and then go do our own vag things.
Right, because vag forever. Henrietta.
And Adrian's middle name was is Henrietta, and we would always make fun of her for it. Whenever she would do something we didn't like or she'd do something stupid, we'd be like, Henrietta! And she'd get so mad at us.
That's beach week. Myrtle Beach.
Look how tan we are.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Because we went to
Dirty Dick's.
And
or Dave's Last Resort or whatever. Dick's. I don't know.
Dave's Divers.
Dick's.
I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
But Vikki says, stole my makeup from the dollar store. And then Adrian and I are sitting next to each other. And mine says, lost my virginity to her fingers. And Adrian's hat says, didn't feel like a virgin.
Yeah. If you've ever been to Myrtle Beach, you know exactly what we're talking about. There's all these gimmicky places.
This was right after our friend asked us to come to her batch party. I think our friend invited us to in a big group chat, and then me, Adrian, and Vikki texted off to the side, and we were like, okay, so are you guys actually going? Because I'm not going if you're not going. In this text thread, I literally say, I didn't confirm I was coming until the two of you did.
Yeah, and then Grace and I went because Adrian was dead.
No, we didn't. Well, we
ended up. We went to Virginia Beach instead because it was COVID, and
we ended up being bridesmaids.
Yep, we ended up being bridesmaids in Adrian's honor because Adrian was supposed to be the bridesmaid. But no, that Virginia Beach trip, that was the one where I was like taking solo tequila shots and like going and sitting with random people at the bar, and then I got bounced out of the bar. Like the bouncer literally like carried me out, and then Grace went home and had sex with the bouncer. They kicked me out.
I'm sorry. At first I was like flirting so he wouldn't kick us out, and then I was like, oh, he's flirting back. I was like, I was like, he's kind of cute.
You're like, don't kick her out. She's grieving. Don't kick her out.
And then you had fallen like 5 or 6 times, and the last time you took your shoes off and threw them and fell, and I turned and looked at him, and he said, she's got to go. Sorry. And I was like, all right.
You're like, this is fair. This is casual Vikki behavior. Like at this point, like no. I was hurt. I was down bad for 2 days.
Yeah, because the next day we were all supposed to go to the beach together, and I was down bad too, but not as bad as you. Vikki's throwing up all day, and we basically just slept until 3 or 4 p.m. and they finally came back from the beach, and then I rallied and went back out, but Vikki stayed in.
Oh yeah. Yep, still throwing up. That was a good time.
And then I came back the next day.
You went and hooked up with the bouncer again.
Yeah, I went and hooked up with the bouncer, and then the next morning, everyone was texting me like, you need to freaking hurry up and get here because we're leaving soon.
Also, I just found this while I was like walking out the door. My mom, maybe like a couple months ago, like found this letter from Adrian that she had given me. And so I keep it. It's a birthday card, and it says, "Aw hell, I got 9 lives. I can spare a few." And it's like a cat smoking a joint.
I love that.
And it says, "It's your birthday. Do stuff you're not supposed to do." And she hit me with the yee! Exclamation point. "Happy birthday, my love. I'm so glad we are friends. Let's celebrate 18. Love, Adrian Newcomb. P.S. Billy says, happy B-Day."
Billy!
But yeah, no, I keep this on my stand.
Oh, I love that so much. Ugh, that's so cute.
I'm not going to cry. I look pretty today. I don't want to mess up my makeup. Don't you hate that sometimes when you have good makeup and you're like, fuck, I have to go to sleep. I don't want to waste this makeup.
Yeah, that was me yesterday when we tried to record the first time and I did.
What do you mean? We did record.
We recorded for 2 hours of Vikki basically just singing and complaining about her exes.
All my exes live in Texas. Actually, none of my exes live in Texas. Maybe I should go to that state.
Ew, no.
How about the time that I was house sitting / pet sitting and I threw the biggest rager of the year? We were not conspicuous at all. Literally, I was like,
No.
guys, we're gonna throw this party. And I was like, everyone like park down the street, like don't park in front of the house, like walk in, be sneaky, like biggest rager of the year. But I was pet sitting these dogs. They were Newfoundlands. If you know what a Newfoundland is, it's like a giant furry black dog. And there's literally a photo of Adrian using one of these dogs as a pillow, like drunk and eating potato chips, like laying on the floor on top of this dog.
While also wearing white bunny slippers.
Oh yeah, she went out in slippers that night. I don't even know what I was wearing. The fact that I got paid for that house sitting gig is wild because like I was cleaning up vomit out of the couch.
We fucked that house up.
We fucked that house up, and I think I had sex with like 4 people that night.
Woof.
I used to teach their daughter dance, and I had a really good reputation. You remember the other day when this girl who was a couple years younger than us like saw that we started the podcast, and she was like, "This is such a full circle moment. I learned everything from you." I'm just like,
yes.
Ooh. I'm like, that is a scary thought. I'm like, girl, are you okay? Are you okay?
I remember that night she took she was wearing the slippers out, and it was like their kids or something, and Vikki told her, if you take these out, they cannot get ruined and you have to bring them back. I think it ended up raining or something, and the slippers were ruined. I think Vikki tried to put them in the wash and it didn't work. I think you ended up just throwing them away and pretending like you just never saw them.
Yeah, no one ever said anything about the slippers, but if anyone knows, Adrian's like 5 feet tall and has like baby feet. So she was like, this girl I used to babysit, she was wearing her slippers, and yeah, that's how the night ended. I'm like, yeah, don't ruin those. Done.
My favorites when we would go out together during high school, and we would just wear the wildest fucking outfits possible. Like we would just throw together whatever we could find, and we would think it was so funny and so cute. And when I look at it now, I'm just like, what was wrong with us?
You're like, what was this outfit? I don't even know. Just typical millennial behavior.
Oh my gosh, look at this baby picture of her.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
She had
not gonna cry.
Biggest blue eyes. They were like blueberry saucers.
Yeah. Crying is for bitches. Like
that. And her hair was always like super unruly, and she didn't brush it or wash it or do anything to it, which was 99% of the time. She literally would look like a lion.
Yes, she was a lion.
She was fierce, babes. Remember the super dark eyeliner she used to wear?
Yeah, that was a bad phase.
One thing about Adrian, she always had a good time wherever she went.
Hell yeah. I think about all those times we were at parties at Pheasant Run because she had an older brother who lived there.
Gosh, it was the best.
We were like on the roof, we were dancing. Adrian's parents were like, they were the scapegoat house. Like I used to tell my parents, oh, I'm going to Adrian's because her family was like never around.
I remember sometimes Adrian and I would text each other, or like my mom would be texting Adrian's mom, but sometimes it would be like us. And so our moms started like a code word with each other. And if the code word wasn't in the text message, then they knew it wasn't our moms. And Adrian and I figured it out really well. And years later, my mom was talking to me about it. And I was like, what was the code word? And she said, oh, it was, if we didn't say, hey, girl, in the text message, then we knew it wasn't one of us. I said, yeah, I figured that shit out the second text message I saw because I was like, why are they randomly just saying, hey, girl, to each other? I was like, and then I realized.
You're like, that's not like a normal thing. Hey, girl.
Yeah. And sometimes it would be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then a random hey, girl at the end.
Parents are so sly. I don't even think I haven't really asked my mom. These days, I kind of surprise my parents, but I'm just like, you totally knew. You totally knew.
I think they very much did, probably like ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, right? Our childhood stories, there's so many. I wish I remembered more. Yeah. I just feel like it was so long ago. It was so long ago. It's been 5 years since she's been gone. Oh, that was when she came to visit me and my ex-boyfriend in DC. We got drunk McDonald's, and there's like a video of us like jamming out, eating French fries, in her car in her blueberry Prius.
Oh my gosh, I miss the blueberry Prius. There's a an old man. I don't know if he exists anymore because I don't see the car anymore, but he had the same car as Adrian, and so whenever I would be driving around our town and I would see it, I would always think it was her, and I would always like speed up and start waving aggressively at the person and then realize last minute, oh wait, that is not Adrian, that is some random man.
I forgot we went on a cruise ship together.
Oh, I forgot about the cruise.
Yeah. So her boyfriend at the time, so when Adrian and I were roommates, we got this cat together. And I had messaged her something about the cat, and like she never responded or something. I was really upset about it. And Grace told me her ex-boyfriend threw the cat off the balcony in the snow, and that's why Adrian didn't want to tell me about like how the cat was.
He definitely had anger issues. I'll say that much.
Yeah. Remember, like we literally like the day before she died, we're all texting. It was you, me, her, and we were all like, "Merry Christmas." And then the next day she posts, it's like the ATV, she's having drinks, she's having fun. She posts she puts a post up for her boyfriend because it's his birthday and the reason they're all, hanging out, and that was it.
Yeah, because she wasn't coming home for Christmas, which was like the first time in years.
Yeah.
But the rest of our friend group from high school were all getting together that weekend.
Yeah.
For like a little reunion. And so I think our guy friend, he had texted us asking if we were all going to be there. And Vikki and I said yes, but Adrian was like, no, I'm staying in Colorado with my boyfriend, and it's his birthday too, plus. Because I think the previous Christmas they had come to Blacksburg, because that's when I met the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I have a video of her from that night where I tried to make her take a tequila shot at Champs, and she's literally holding it, and she's like, doop, 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 like dancing with it. She would always do these like tiny little like dances with like her hands. She'd just be like, boop, 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 and like make noises like that. Yes. I loved it when she would do that. Or whenever she'd be excited about something, she wouldn't say yeet or yay. She'd say, yee! Why?
That's what's in my letter. Like, literally, that is what's in here. Do you see where it's like, yee?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. It always made me laugh. Her little mannerisms.
That night with the white tees. I don't know what we were doing that night with the white tees, but we had on neon bras.
Yeah, it was.
That was when we went to the paint party in Radford.
Was this the paint party night?
I think so, because we definitely have photos later with the t-shirts off and just the neon bras on.
No, that was Halloween. This one was it was a highlighter party at that 18 and up club or whatever. Someone rented it out, and someone was like, one of our friends was like DJing it. And so we pre-gamed at Adrian's house.
Mr. Spreadsheet Man mentioned this place to me the other day. It's right behind Benny's Pizza. Mm-hmm. It's not a 18 and plus club anymore, but it used to be.
We went there for like a highlighter party or something. And
we were like, this shit's lame.
Yeah.
We can't drink here.
And then we brought some of our guy friends back to Adrian's with us because I think her parents were out of town or doing something. Mm-hmm. So we basically just had free reign of the house again.
Again, surprise. Remember when Adrian got sent away to the farm after throwing a party?
That's what it was! That is what I was trying to think of.
She was literally gone for like an entire summer. Like she threw a party at her parents' house and they were like, well, goodbye. Go live with your aunts and uncles and work on the farm also.
They literally sent her away for a summer of hard labor in between junior year and senior year of high school. And I remember she came back, it was stepping out weekend, and we all met up on the grassy hill right across from Greens and like screamed when we saw each other and immediately started crying. It was like long lost.
We missed her so much.
I know.
You and I were getting into shenanigans that summer though, because we were, up the street from each other.
Yeah, because that was the summer that was the summer I lost my virginity. We got arrested, and God.
That was when you lost your virginity? Who did you even lose your virginity to? Oh, you told me this, yeah. He's an Eskimo with you, me, and Adrian.
Yeah, no, because the dude I lost my virginity to, he and I were in the same house that night, and it was 4th of July night. I remember this. Vikki is with her high school boyfriend at the time in their room, and I'm in the guest room, and him and I are having sex, and this guy that I was dating previously accidentally comes into the room and sees us having sex. And the song Cat Daddy is playing in the background, like
Cat Daddy.
super loud. And he does like the whole like dance motion where you look like you're doing, where you have like a wheelchair. Daddy. And him and I lock eyes, and he's like, Cat Daddy. And I was just like, I like turned my head away. I was like, I'm going to kill myself. And then the next morning, Vikki and I walk out into the living room, and I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of sore. And she was like, why are you sore? I said, oh my God, I lost my virginity. And she was like, oh my God. I know. And then you go, I lost my anal virginity.
I cannot believe you would say that. What am I wearing? Like, what is that? I'm like, let me wear this work appropriate blouse that's hot pink with a sparkly silver skirt.
No, that was the thing. When we were like freshmen and stuff in college, it was all about
the pencil skirt, the peplum top, the chunky necklace.
We basically wore business casual out to parties, which is just so insane to me.
Insanely high heels that like were not just a high heel, they also had the fucking platform on your toe.
Mm-hmm.
What is in her hair?
She has a paintbrush in her hair. Oh my God.
I clearly removed myself from that tag, but like, what?
Oh my God. Adrian is such a fucking goofball. Like, the shit she would do, and she just did not care. Or she would do it, then she'd get anxious about it, and then she'd be like, fuck it.
Like, what even is this? I'm appalled to have ever existed.
Oh, this is when she was at William, what's it called? Mary Washington.
Mary Washington. Yeah, I had to go rescue her after her first year. She had an awful roommate. Mm-hmm. She was like, all the soccer girls are bitches. Mm-hmm. And I went and picked her up, and I locked my keys in the car, and we had to call a locksmith. Because back then, it was my old green Ford Escape, and I locked my keys in the car, and she was like, you want to go to the food hall while we wait? I was like, hell yeah. Like, let's just go get some food.
Do you remember, it was the day she was leaving for Mary Washington. You came and picked me up because we went to go say goodbye to her, because we both went to college locally. And before we even see Adrian, like, Vikki and I are already sobbing hysterically. And then we show up, and the three of us are just hugging and crying. Like, we're never going to see each other again.
Was this the Kabuki day where we're like...
No, that Kabuki was for my birthday? Your birthday?
I think it was my birthday. If it was Kabuki, it was for me.
Okay, so
August 15th, it was your birthday.
It was my birthday, and we also went... I think it was like our last
graduation, like a little hoorah.
Yeah, it was my birthday and our last dinner together before we all left for like college, quote unquote.
Dang, the belted dresses were like such a vibe.
And this picture, Vikki and I both have belted dresses on. Vikki has the big thick belt, and I have like a little thin yellow belt. I literally look like Beetlejuice in this picture. But this was just her, just like, it was right before she literally was like getting in the car and leaving, and we're just sobbing hysterically, the three of us hugging, and her parents were like, oh, that's so sweet. And then eventually they were like, okay, girls, like,
wrap it up,
we need to go. And we were just like, no. It just made me laugh. And then I went and visited Adrian when she was up in Mary Washington one time. One of the guys that lived in the Pheasant Run apartment, him and I drove up to Mary Washington, got Adrian, and then we drove up to DC where one of our friends went to George Mason. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And we partied up at George Mason for the weekend. And Adrian and I were so excited to be together again and this guy had like an older Mustang, so there wasn't like there was a second row, but you had to like climb into the back of it. And I was like, well, I don't want to sit in the front by myself. So, of course, in true fashion, we both sat in the back and had like large McDonald's Cokes, and we put a bunch of vodka in them, and we just drank.
Not a vodka Coke.
I think it was like an hour to DC from Mary Washington.
From Fredericksburg.
Yeah, and so we drank that hour just like getting hammered in the car. So then we show up to our friend's apartment and we are fucked up already. And then our friend had like red sparkling wine or something. So Adrian and I drank that. But we were so drunk that we ended up throwing up literally everywhere. I threw up on the floor. Adrian threw up on top of the mini fridge. Our friend only had a twin bed. So Adrian and I slept back to back, and like she threw up against the wall and it went down the wall, and I threw up like against the bed and it went down the bed and onto the floor. And we drank red stuff, so it literally looked like someone got murdered all over the room. And we woke up the next day and we were both just like, what is happening? And we had throw up like all over our shirts.
The worst is when you wake up with chunks in your hair.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
The three of us could not handle not being together. I literally felt like we were going through withdrawal when Adrian left for Mary Washington. So we would Skype. This is back when Skype was a thing, our freshman year of college. And we would Skype each other, if not every day, probably at least 3 to 4 times a week. And it was never like a 15-minute, oh, how are you doing call? We would be on there for like 2 hours. Just talking and making funny faces. And we were big bow girls back in the day.
I'm a bow girl now, like a classy like big bow with like.
Yes, you can. I mean, I was a big bow girl in high school just because I was a cheerleader, but I feel like you can pull those. I feel like you can pull those off. Every time I see them, I'm like, oh, maybe this would look cute with me, but I feel like my vibe now is just not that.
You're too dark. I'm golden retriever. I can pull off a bow.
Yeah. I feel like if I were to wear one, I would have imposter syndrome. But the picture we're looking at, it was the last party of the summer. My parents were out of town, finally, for the first time in my entire life. And my older brother, who's 4 years older than me, we told my parents that we had to work. And it was Steppin' Out weekend, which is like a big street festival where we're from. And neither of us had to work. I took off that weekend. I was like, I'm not working this weekend.
Was this when you were at the aquatic center?
The aquatic center.
Grace was a lifeguard.
It was the fucking worst. But so I invited all of our high school friends, and because it was like our last hoorah together before everyone went to college. And then Andrew invited his friends, who they were all
in college.
Yeah, they were all in college. They were all 21, 22. And per usual, it just ended up getting out of hand because people told people who told people.
Right.
But it was one of the most fun parties of the summer. I had such a good time. And of course, Adrian and Vikki and I always had to we always had to coordinate our outfits no matter what. So whether it was with a bow or color or something.
Or braids or
yes.
Just the general vibe had to be the same.
Yeah. And so in this picture, the three of us all have a side part on the same side with like a giant bow on the side that matched our outfit.
Correct. What a time to be alive. Aw. Not the digital camera. Every now and then you bring out the digital camera and low-key the photos are fire. Bring it back.
Oh, I'm going to bring it with me when I come see you in a few weeks. But yeah, the picture we're looking at is OG 2012 bright.
I'm literally wearing a sparkly tank top. Like, you remember the sparkle tank top phase where it's just like full sequin?
Yes.
With like hot blue shorts.
What is it? 14.9.
Oh my god, it's so weird hearing her voice.
My laugh is disgusting. Like, literally someone off me.
14.9.
Remember how she had a photo of Wayne Rooney on her ceiling? I was like, he literally looks like he could be your brother. Like, you could not be attracted to this because Adrian and Wayne Rooney are both very short, light-haired hobbit types.
Yes, and they both have like sandy blonde hair with bright blue eyes. They both had freckles. Like Wayne Rooney, oddly enough, looks a lot like her real life brother. So
Right.
they
I was
could
like,
be.
this is an ick that like you have a photo of like I remember sleeping in bed with her and looking up at Wayne Rooney. Just like
Do you remember that one time? She was really, really drunk, and she rolled over. She was dreaming about Wayne Rooney, and she rolled over and said something, and someone was like, Adrian, what'd you say? And she goes, Wayne Rooney, and then rolled back over. This bitch was obsessed with our man
I
Wayne
just
Rooney.
don't understand. He's not even all that.
No. Whenever I look at him, I literally think of her brother, which is
Wait,
so
we have to talk about the braids.
Okay, so our thing was to always have braids in, and it was like Adrian's staple. Like Adrian always had a braid in or whatever, and we would always, a lot of times, if it wasn't the front of our hair, like braiding our bangs back, it was usually like we would have a braid like in the back of our hair.
Like a fucking rat tail. And,
Yeah, basically a rat tail.
Adrian used to do like the Skrillex hairstyle, so she would have the side part with her hair over one way, and then it would be like braided back tight on the other. So it was kind of like we shaved our heads.
Yeah, and so for senior year prom, Adrian, in true Adrian fashion, decided to do two.
I think
braids.
I braided it. But I was like, the intent was for her to pull it back like mine. So if you're looking at this photo, I have double braids too, but I pulled mine back into like a half pony with curls. She left hers down. And then she threw her hair back. So it just looks like she's got two little braids right here.
And they're so bad because she didn't. If it would have been good if she had like taken all of her hair and pushed it to the front, but she didn't. She pulled all of her hair to the back and then left just her two straggly rat tail braids in the front. And then, but it wasn't braided all the way down to the ends. So she had like an inch or two of hair, but she had already curled her hair. So her ends are like curling everywhere. And it looks insane. And it's just so funny. Because like Vikki and I's hair looks good. And then
I look good. I was so hot senior year of prom.
oh,
I look good. I can't believe that Dee wore a whole white suit, though. That is trash.
wasn't it like 3 or 4 of them were like, we're going to wear white suits for senior prom? And we were all like, okay, dude.
I have no idea. I just know that my dress is fire. I like fire.
Of course, in true Grace fashion, me and my date wore all black.
Yes. Mine was like a pageant dress, but it's so pretty. It was so pretty. Like, look how good that dress is.
I love the big, she had like
emblem.
Big brooch type thing like on her hip.
It was an ombre dress, like blue, and it goes down to light. My mom still has this dress because
She still does. I bet you still fit in it.
Oh, I wish. Honestly, these days I might.
I can guarantee you probably still fit in it.
Oh, I'd probably look hot as shit too.
That's what you should wear to the wedding.
No, I'm gonna be classy. That calls too much attention, but no, my mom has kept every single like important dress of my life since I was born, to the point where she also has all of my dance costumes from age 4 to age 18.
That's wild.
So if I ever have a daughter, she will 1,000% be playing dress up with all of my awful dance costumes. The braids are too bad. I can't.
God, I thought I was fat here. I'm so fucking skinny in this
No,
picture.
the body dysmorphia that people in their 30s feel. It's like when I think back to high school, I was like, I was the fattest piece of lard to ever exist. And now today I'm like, well, must be nice.
I'm like, damn, I wish I was still a size 3.
Right? Honestly, I could probably fit in that now.
I definitely think you could.
I've lost so much weight. I'm like,
yeah, look how skinny my face and neck look. Ugh, I wish.
aw, this is unsettling. This is when she was like hating on her prom dress and her hair, and she was like, I'm not going. And we were like, let's just all snuggle here and stay.
Yes.
The
picture where, like,
putting into the hair with the little like
literally the little curly Q hair. It's Adrian pouting in bed, refusing to go to prom.
You have to post it.
I will. And this one, she's literally sucking her thumb, refusing to get up. I remember Vikki and I were so mad at her because at first we were like, haha, okay, funny, Adrian, you always do this. And then she was like, no, like, I'm legit not going. And we were like, bitch, get the fuck out of bed. This is my favorite picture from this night.
Yeah. I was like, come out. And she's like, knife.
She literally threatened us with a knife.
Just like my ex-boyfriend, one of them.
Whoa. She was so fucking funny. Anytime we went somewhere and she did not like her outfit.
Yeah, that was literally me yesterday, changing my outfit 8 times.
Can't get over when we were young. The low-rise jeans with the extra crop top. Like,
see, for me, I'm like, am I fat here, or is that just my, like, arched back and my uterus, like, sticking out over my jeans like a normal human being?
I think it's you just being a normal human being and being a woman that has a uterus.
Damn. Nothing like the fupa, though. I hate the fupa.
Girl, I got a big one now.
Does Mr. W like it?
Okay. Yes, he loves my body.
Oh.
Every time I take off a piece of clothing, like it could be like
a sock,
he's just like, oh. I'm like, can you calm down? Like, thank you for loving my body, but I need you to chill.
See, that's so nice. I'm like, with my ex, it was always, you're too fat. You have bad style. You lack confidence.
The audacity of him saying that.
He was like, you never wear lingerie and, you don't act sexy enough. And I'm just like, okay.
Why don't you suck my dick?
Like, I believe he was projecting. Like, the fact that anyone ever has called me not confident is a little scary. Like, I wouldn't say I'm the most confident person ever. Like, everyone has their insecurities, but the person you love shouldn't be the person that makes you feel the worst about yourself.
Yeah, your husband shouldn't be telling you that you're fat.
Remember when we used to cone people?
Yes. The 3 of us thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And so our local library, I mean, now that we're admitting this 15 years later, our local library had a bunch of cones.
Like street cones. We're talking like the orange, like, cones.
And they had it in front of one of their driveways to make sure people didn't park there. And we probably stole it 10, 15 times.
We used to steal these rubber cones, and we would either sneak them into people's houses, put them on top of their cars, like, just do ridiculous things with these cones. I even did this in college. My freshman year, I snuck one into Pritchard, and I don't know what happened to it, but people would just come out to their cars and find like random orange cones on them. One time we found an abandoned couch on the side of the road, and we were like, you know what, this would be really funny if we took this to this guy's house. So we were in my old Ford Escape. Adrian and Grace are like holding onto this couch for dear life because like literally like a quarter of it is in my car and the rest is sticking out the back. Like, we tried to go vertical and like they're holding onto this couch so it doesn't fall out of the back of my car. And we're just like driving main streets in Blacksburg with like a fucking couch half outside of my car. And then we put it in this dude's driveway to block him in. The fact that we were like, this would be so funny if we did manual labor and moved this couch. And now I'm like, who can I hire to move this couch for me?
Literally. Because I remember we were driving around that night. There was like nothing to do. No one was doing anything. It was
so boring. We were like, we got to do something.
We were stone cold sober, and we see the couch on this, and we always did it to this one guy. I don't know why, but he was known for being grumpy sometimes. So we're like,
let's make his day worse. Let's put a couch behind his car.
Oh my god. And one time we stole one of those giant, like, big circle cones that you see on the side of highways that sometimes are filled with concrete or water. Those shits are heavy as fuck.
You know what? We moved that shit. Honestly, if I could go back to high school and realize how much I was the Hulk, like, I wish I had that strength today.
Right? My shoulders and my arm muscles were fucking batshit. But we his car was unlocked, so we put the cone
in the back seat.
in the back seat. But his mom was taking his car the next day to work. So she goes outside at like 6 a.m. because she's a doctor, and she gets in the car and just sees a giant cone in the back seat, and she's like,
those things are bigger than they look. When you pass them on the highway, you're like, me, it's minuscule. When you carry one, like you can't even wrap your arms around it. It's that big.
Yeah, it was the size of Adrian, and
it was literally a chode.
Literally, it was
literally a chode. But I mean, the girth is where it matters. The girthy cone. You remember that photo of her in the yearbook where she's she would kill us for showing this, where she's like headbutting a soccer ball and she's like,
yes. My favorite soccer story, because Adrian played varsity soccer in high school.
Adrian was the best soccer player ever, and she does have a scholarship. People should donate to it.
She does. They do it once a year now. It's the Adrian Memorial Soccer Scholarship, and it goes to a senior who is going to college for soccer.
She was a striker. She was a rock star. Like, Adrian was the best soccer player.
She beat the district record for amount of goals in a season or per a player. I can't remember which one, our senior year of high school, which I was like, fuck yeah, that's our best team.
I'm like, go AIDS babes.
But my favorite soccer story of hers, they were playing some like asshole team, and this girl ran over to Adrian because Adrian was about to score, and the girl took both hands the back of Adrian's jersey and like threw her down. No flag. No flag. And so Adrian was also pissed. So like a few minutes later, that same girl runs by Adrian. Adrian sprints up to her and just kicks her in the back of the shin. And immediately got a red card, and she walks off the field, and her coach at the time was like, you know what? I can't even be mad. Like,
that's so her. Honestly, like, she deserved it. She deserved it.
Our feisty little lion.
She was feisty.
Hell yeah, she was. She was also like, I wouldn't say a people pleaser, but she was just so nice to everyone that she probably had like 15 people that called her their best friend. And she's like, yeah, they're nice, but like, I don't think they're my best friend. And I'm like,
right, it's because we're your best friend.
Yeah. I'm like, don't worry, we know.
Like, it's Vag forever. So we talk about how I got banned from Tinder for posting a spicy photo. So Adrian has this photo on her Instagram, and she's like jumping on this mountain, and it says, like, get your ass into nature or something.
Something like that. Or free or something.
Like, I feel free, get your ass into nature. And it's very aesthetic. So I just recently took some nude photos out in the snow. One is like my booty, and I'm like, it's just my booty, like peace sign, throwing it up. And one is me like sitting on this snowy ass rock with like only wearing earmuffs. And I posted that on Tinder. I got blocked for it. I posted it on my Instagram, and I eventually deleted it because my mom was like upset or whatever. But honestly, looking back at that post, like, Adrian was maybe 24. Also, Adrian is not like a curvy person. She has a very athletic body. So me posting it at 30 with my not athletic body, like, I'm a curvy girl. Like, I got curves in the right places, and it's very obvious. I was like, even the intent of this was not to be slutty. Like, it looks fucking slutty.
Well, Adrian had a booty for days because she was an athletic person.
Mm-hmm.
But her boobs were inverted. She had none.
Yeah, but she still pierced them. Yeah, all three have pierced nipples. Yeah. Fun fact.
But Adrian and I went together to get our nipples pierced, and
I never go with anyone. I have to go alone.
I've convinced so many people to get their nipples pierced that I've gone with so many people.
I got Illy's nipples re-pierced because you remember she got dumped and her ex said they tasted like BO. So she took her nipple piercings out, and as a parting gift before I moved to Nashville, I was like, I'm going to pay for you to get your nipples re-pierced.
Hell yeah.
And we did it. We did it. Hooray.
Adrian and I went to Ancient Art, and it was when Vikki was still there.
Oh, Ancient Art. Yeah, that's where I got mine done the first time. Honestly, when they pierce your nipple, it's a fucking hook. It's not straight. It's like a Like, was yours a hook?
Mine was straight.
Oh, no. Mine, they used like it looks like a fish hook. Like, it was a curved.
No, mine was a straight needle, and they just, like, clamp, push through. I don't know who fucking Captain Hook, Jack Sparrow bullshit you got. But I remember when Adrian and I went, because I have much bigger titties than Adrian does. And the lady was like, okay, take off your shirt so I can measure your nipples. She measures Adrian's first. Adrian has like the tiniest bar. And then she looks at my titties and she goes, oh yeah, you're going to need the big bar. And like takes out the biggest bar they have. And I was like, well, all right then. And then, of course, Adrian almost pussied out because I was like, okay, I'll go first. Like, I'll show you it's not that bad. And then Adrian's like, well, I don't know. I said, you better sit in that motherfucking chair.
No, well, hear me out. So the first one feels great. Adrenaline.
Yes.
Adrenaline, like you don't feel a thing.
Yep.
The second one fucking hurts because the adrenaline has been gone. But, like, I believe that boobs should be symmetrical.
Yeah, absolutely. People who only get one of them done.
Like, girls that only have one boob pierced, it's like, girl, what? Like,
I don't like that.
No. Like, you have one clit, pierce that, sure. But, like, don't, like, pierce one boob. Like, boobs should be like, wow. Like, if you have one, you need the other. It's a duo.
Absolutely. I almost got my clit pierced after I got my nipples pierced. I was really close to doing it. But then I was researching it, and it's like if they pierce it wrong, you will lose like all sensitivity in your clit and you can't have orgasms. And I was like, I am not taking that chance.
That is a risk. That is a risk I'm not willing to take. Yeah. Your mom is so invested in your orgasms that it is like, maybe it's healthy. It feels a little unhealthy to me, but
it's a
Grace's
little
mom was like,
it's a little overbearing. I will say that.
Her mom was asking her if Mr. W gives her orgasms.
Yeah, I was laying in bed minding my own business one morning, and my mom walks into my room and she lays in bed and she's like, I have an important question for you. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, here we go. What do you want? And she was like, so does Mr. W give you a good, not just an orgasm, a good orgasm every time you guys have sex? And I was like, Mom, are you fucking kidding me? She was like, it's an important thing to talk about. I said, yes, our sex life is very healthy. Yes, he gives me a good orgasm every time we have sex. And she goes, oh, good. Because if a man can't give you a good orgasm every time you have sex, then the relationship is doomed from the start. And I was like, damn, okay. Which, I mean, my mom has been married for 45 years and has 11 children. So she probably knows a little something about that. And she also did this to my sister-in-law. When my sister-in-law married my brother like 15 years ago, she pulled her aside before her wedding day and talked to her about sex and was like, make sure you pee after sex, like all of this stuff. She taught my sister-in-law about oral sex. Mind you, this is my mother telling my sister-in-law, who is marrying my brother, her son, and she's telling my sister-in-law how to give a fucking blowjob.
I mean, did she need to be educated?
I would assume not.
Like, do you think that her son came to her and he was like, Mom, my future wife can't give me a BJ? And Marianne took it upon herself and she was just like, this is how you do it, girl. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
No, I do not think that's what happened. But my mom she doesn't have any filter whatsoever. She says what comes to her head, and it's never in like a malicious way. It's always in she wants to make sure that you have all the tools in your toolbox to make it. Vikki, did your parents ever give you a sex talk? I feel like no. I didn't think so.
By the time they thought I wouldn't have sex for a long time, and then so my mom thinks that I lost I lost my virginity to my high school boyfriend until I told her recently that
that was not the case.
Right. And at the time I was like, oh, I'm worried about pregnancy and blah, blah, blah. Like, there was no sex talk because they were like not expecting it for a while.
When my mom finally asked me if another good Marianne story for you. When my mom asked me if I was a virgin, I lied to her and told her I had lost it to my high school boyfriend, but I had already had sex with two other people at the time. And then she's like, oh, did you guys use a condom? Because I wasn't on birth control. So I said, yes, we did. And she was like, ugh, having sex with a condom feels like fucking a balloon. I'm 17 at the time, and I'm in the car with her, and I just turned and looked at her, and I was just like, oh, yeah, Mom. Like, what in the... oh my God. Okay, so to go back to episode 2 last week, we talked a lot about micro penises. And
small dicks, small dicks, small dicks, small dicks.
One of our listeners sent in a very funny story. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. About a micro penis encounter she had in college. And it is wild. It had me screaming. Okay, so this is how she goes. I remember him being so small, I could fit his dick and both balls in my mouth. And one time after a party, I was sober because I wasn't drinking, but then decided to get blackout drunk after we had sex. But I had a tampon in because I was on my period, and neither of us noticed, ... So I woke up the next morning and was like, damn, I think I had a tampon in last night, and I don't remember taking it out, ... And sure enough, I had to go fishing for my tampon.
I know someone who fucked with a tampon in and it got like stuck up there, and then they put another one in, and this person pulled out like 3 at once. Like they just kept coming.
How did they not need to go to the emergency room?
I have no idea. Like,
that's wild.
You know, like when the magicians that pull the things out of the hat, it was like that. She just kept finding them, and like,
that's wild.
It is so wild. Like, things can get lost up there. I believe it. Whatever.
Anyways, back to our main topic, which grief, of course. You know, losing Adrian, it definitely hit us hard. If you were around us for that first year or two, it was rough. It was a rough time, but I think we've grown a lot from it. I feel like you can tell just from episodes 1, 2, and 3 already, and especially from the memories we've shared and how it's brought Vikki and I closer, and it's something we'll never forget. I mean, we're always going to be Vag, no matter...
Vag forever.
Yes, no matter where Adrian is.
But we miss her. Exactly. It's a tough subject to talk about, but it's one we all face in different ways. And sometimes it's through those losses that we learn the most about ourselves and each other. I believe that Adrian is the reason I am free today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my ex, when she died, first and foremost, he never liked her. He never liked her. If she had been alive when I got engaged, it never would have happened. And I was in a vulnerable state when I got married, and right before I was about to move to Nashville, I went back to my hometown. I was like, I want to visit her. And he was like, fuck her. I'm just like, he apologized for it later, but I'm just like, that is the most cruel thing a person can do. But we've trauma bonded.
Have we? And we laughed and probably scared a few of you away. Speaking of, we've noticed some of you have unfollowed us on Instagram, so how dare you?
I know, we went from 206 to 205, so whoever the fuck you are,
you better fucking refollow us, bitch.
We'll find you, and we will make you follow us.
We will break into your phone and we will make you refollow us.
Yeah, you probably had a micro penis and you decided to unfollow because of your insecurities.
And you know what? That's not our problem, boyo.
Yeah, maybe fix your dick. Yeah, do better.
Do better. Anyways, we hope you felt a little less alone listening to this, and maybe, you know, shared a laugh or two, and as we share our stories with you.
I am alone. I am alone.
No, you're not, bitch. You have me. How dare you?
Oh, You remember when I said I was going to drink responsibly? Another bottle down. Another bottle down. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Okay, so thank you for coming to Your Secret Safe with A. If you love us, like, subscribe, follow. Podcast is on Apple, Spotify, and
Amazon and
Oh.
YouTube.
And YouTube. Oh, we're everywhere. We're everywhere together.
Because we're all in this together. Bum, bum, bum. But anyways, we hope you come back.
But I got the vibe. It's giving Zac Efron.
I love Zac Efron. But next week we're gonna flip the script. Well, not next week. In 2 weeks, we're gonna flip the script a little bit because we're gonna talk about threesomes and favorite trios. So if you have a good threesome story, or maybe you and two of your girlfriends, or two of you and your two best friends have good funny trio stories, DM us, let us know, slide into those DMs, send us those stories, because three's never a crowd and we want to get weird.
Someone's yucks might be your yums, is all I'm gonna say.
A listener reached out today because they have some stories they want to share, and I was like, tell us whatever you're comfortable with. We listen and we don't judge. We will not yuck your yum, because what you like may not be what I like, but it may be what someone else likes. And maybe by listening to this, they can feel more secure in what their kinks are and what they like.
And embrace your kinks. Honestly, like, if someone does not match your energy, like, get the fuck on. Like, it will not work out. Like, 20-year-old me was like, oh, you know what? I don't need good dick. I don't need to have an orgasm. Whatever. Like, I'll be fine. Cut him off. Because your secret's safe with A, unless it's too funny not to share. Be sure to like us, follow us,
subscribe,
share your stories, subscribe.
So, until next time.
Hell yeah. Illy.
Bye.
Beetlejuice.
Ew, stop. Okay, but anyways, please stop that noise. Are you done?
Yeah.
One more for good measure.
Room for one more?
Room for one more?
You are my fire.